Hello hackers and welcome back. So the grades should be all caught up. I know I was a little bit behind, but they should be caught up as of today. But I want you to make sure and check those grades to make sure that I didn't make any mistakes. It's getting a little complicated with group work happening in Discord and Blackboard and possibly some other platforms or interfaces that I'm not aware of. So if you don't have a grade for something but you did the work, just let me know and explain where you did that work at, whether it was over email or Snapchat. If it didn't happen in Blackboard or Discord, I just wasn't aware of it. So definitely let me know about that. I want to make sure and get you the grade that you deserve. I noticed that several people are behind, and so I created a channel in Discord, a group for catching up. You see, if you go there, you'll see this ridiculous ketchup hot dog meme. But I created this group because it's your best chance for catching up, for doing some of that group work if you weren't able to or didn't get around to it. Because this Discord server is accessible from all three of my classes, so that means that there's more of a chance that you'll get some interaction with others who also need to catch up. So jump on there and see if you could contact others if you need to catch up on some of the group work or responses to the research plans, that sort of thing. On the research plans, not all of you responded to your own post, and so you didn't get full credit for that. But if you do, if you read other research plans and respond to your own post, just let me know so that I can give you credit. Anything that is late or you didn't get to, you can always do for late work points. You just have to let me know, because I don't go back and look at all those old discussion boards. If you do that, just send me an email or a message on Discord and let me know you did the late work. Okay, that's all for catching up. Let's talk about this next blog. So, where are we at here? Many of the groups made amazing word clouds to list the common codes of a report. So I kind of had a hard choice. I just picked one good word cloud. There were several other good word clouds, but I just picked the one here. You'll see that it has introduction, conclusion, results, discussion. There's analysis in there, quotes, references. These are all great common codes for informational reports. Another way to say that is that they're the elements that make reports different from other things like stories. You can tell pretty quickly when you read a report it's not a story, right? And these are some of the reasons you can tell that, because these are what make up this specific genre. So keep in mind the word clouds from your group as you are creating, as you are reviewing and expanding and revising your informational report blogs. I didn't find raw data for any of the groups, so I wasn't able to create a super word cloud like I did last time. But if several groups want to send me that raw data, not your research data, right, but the list of common codes before it gets turned into a word cloud, I'd be happy to mash them all up and make them into one big word cloud. So I'm doing this video a little earlier than normal. I'm doing this video on Saturday, and hopefully everyone will have uploaded their draft by Saturday midnight. That way everyone will have plenty of time to peer review everyone in the group. If you're on Discord and you want to post your blog in a different way using Google Docs, that's cool. If you're using Blackboard, the blog feature in the group is probably the best way to do it. But what you will do is post that by midnight, and then by Wednesday midnight you'll have answered the peer review questions for everyone else in your group. Now, some groups last time figured out some alternative methods to lighten their workload, but it gets kind of complicated trying to make sure that everybody gets a fair number of peer reviews. But as long as everyone gets at least 2 to 3 peer reviews, in other words, plenty of feedback, I don't care how your group does that. The easiest way, logistically of course, is just to peer review everyone in your group. So one thing that I want to mention as we peer review and revise this informational report blog on a digital community is that this group work that you have been doing, these groups in class are really newly formed digital communities. So one thing that you can think about is, how is your group interacting, or maybe not interacting? And you might think about that as you write about the research on your digital community. I think that the more a digital community interacts, the more that it can form a tight-knit community. And my guess is that most of these digital communities have far more interaction than the groups, which is okay and to be expected. You might also think, though, if you're using other tools than Blackboard to interact with your group, does the interface have an effect on your interaction? So this is going back to Stevenson, right, who wrote a narrative, but he made a good point. It's possible the interface matters when it comes to this interaction we're doing in our groups. It's also very possible that the interface matters for the digital communities that you're researching. So you could talk a little bit about how the interface might hamper interactivity, or the interface might be good for interactivity and good for community building. So I want you to think about this while you're working on your blog. Now, your blog could include facts and history about the group. That would be good for giving context on your report, but you want to make sure that you are informing us about how the community works as a community first and foremost. So your main point is to inform us about your digital community and your primary research on your digital community. So you can certainly add other things in, but make sure that your primary research is the primary focus of your blog. The interviews, the surveys, the observations that you've done. One last thing that I want to mention is let's see if we can pull up the prompt for the digital community. So this is the prompt, and it explains the difference between digital communities and networks. And I think we've all figured out that these big networks like Facebook and Snapchat aren't communities in and of themselves, even though sometimes they like to advertise themselves as such. But there are plenty of small digital communities that exist, or some large, that exist on these networks. So that's the first step, and I think everyone has chosen fascinating digital communities, unless I've noted elsewhere, or in Blackboard. If your community didn't quite work, I think I've redirected most people. But one thing that we want to make sure that we do, not only that we cite our sources correctly and we put quotes around quotes that we use, and also give credit for paraphrasing things or putting them in our own words. We also want to provide links in our blog so that if someone is interested in that research, they can follow up using those links. Now, you could put those links in the blog themselves, but I would also like to see a works cited list or a references list or something like that, that lists the sources that you used. And I'll show you a very easy way to hyperlink those sources in Blackboard. Alright, so I have the Create a Blog tool up, And I'm just going to give it a very generic title. I hope your titles are more interesting. And then we're going to this is going to be the body of our blog. And then our sources or references or works cited. And we probably want to make that header a little bit bigger. So this is, I'm pretending that I have a post by one of my colleagues in a Facebook group that we belong to called Imagining Indigenous Futurisms. And I've put that blog post, or that hypothetical blog post, in MLA format because that's what I am used to. If you want to use another formatting system, that's fine, just be consistent. The book has details on MLA and APA, but that's Modern Language Association and American Psychological Association. But my main concern is that you give credit where credit is due. I'm not as concerned about all the little details, where the periods go and that sort of thing. So this would be a Facebook entry, or an entry in MLA for a post from Facebook. Oops. Okay. Now, to link it, this is the label that we're going to see in the blog, but if I want to link it to a particular URL, all I have to do is highlight it and click on this little link button up here. It looks like a little chain link. Alright, let me move this over. It's going to ask you for the link path. You're just going to put that link path in there. You want to make sure that you do put, it's really old school, so you need to put all of the heading information, http://www. That should get it to the right place. Oops, we need a period here. Okay, and then we want to open it in a new window. And then if you go down to the bottom here, you'll see insert, and you'll see now that it's that your source is hyperlinked. Now you can hyperlink things on your sources or works cited list down here, but you could also hyperlink things within the body of your blog. You might want to do so sparingly, but a couple of hyperlinks, especially hyperlinks down with the sources, will show that your reader that not only did you do your research, but you're able to put that, give links to that research in case they want to do, follow-up research, or if they're just interested. So I'm gonna post this blog entry here, and you'll see not a very great blog, but it does have hyperlink capabilities here. So if we click on this, it will come up and bring up the Facebook group that I belong to. Alright, hackers, I hope you have a good time peer reviewing and revising your blogs. And if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to contact me via email, phone, chat, and I hope to see you all online.